Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. So, dear devotees, in a second chapter, what is the name of the second chapter, by the way?
Sankhya Yoga, or contents of Gita summarized.
So, Srila Prabhupada has used the word content of Gita summarized, right? So, it means there must be everything what is in all the subject of Bhagavad Gita are in a second chapter. So this is actually something like the best teacher is one who gives the synopsis or in short something and inspire and incite something in a student to ask question, and then the teacher will elaborate on that, and in that way student will actually understand more. So with that in mind, Krishna has actually gave the content of Gita in a short in second chapter. So up till first 30 verses, usually after between from 11 to 30, that portion is actually Sankhya Yoga. This portion of the second chapter is Sankhya Yoga, because the first portion is continuity of the first chapter. Still Arjun's more doubt and Arjun's surrender. But then there is a Sankhya Yoga, which means analytical study of the spirit and matter, body and soul. And then the next section is actually Swadharma, which usually in our technical language called Karma Kand. That is going up till 38. And then from 39 actually start Buddhi Yoga. So this section from 39 till say 40 or so, that is actually pure Bhakti Yoga. Particularly Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, Nistirguno Bhav Arjuna. These are Neha Bhi Karam Nasu Asti. They are actually pure Bhakti Yoga. So Buddhi Yoga, which is in second chapter, this section of Buddhi Yoga is actually Bhakti Yoga. And the next section of the Buddhi Yoga, Buddhau Sharanam Gacha, is a Nishkama Karma Yoga. That is called Nishkama Karma Yoga. So in second chapter, Buddhi Yoga has two meanings. In a first part, verse 39, 40, 41, this is actually, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, this is actually unalloyed, pure devotional service. And the next, Buddho Sharanam Gacha, is a Buddhi Yoga also. Now, and that is start from this verse, Karman e adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachin. From this verse onward, next section is actually Nishkama Karma Yoga. Then doing Nishkama Karma Yoga, established knowledge, and that section is after Arjun's question. And Arjun's question is somewhere verse number 53 or 2 or 4, one of these three. स्थित प्रज्ञ का भाषा समाधि से केशव स्थिति गीत किम भाषेत किम वर्जित आसीत वर्जित किम. 4 questions about स्थित प्रज्ञ. Sthita means fixed, pragya means intelligence. So one whose intelligence is fixed on what? Fixed on soul. And then when further advanced, it's called fixed on super soul. So last section is Sthit Pragya. And we have actually summarized, the verses, which verse is answering first question. Sthit Pragyasya ka bhasha means what are the characteristics. And then Sthit Pragya ka bhasha samadhi sthit keshava sthit kim prabhaset. Prabhaset means internally out and externally how he behave. And then how he sit means how he control his senses. And then how he walk means how he uses the senses in say Krishna consciousness in Prabhupada's language. So in this section, we have actually, we have demarcated verses for each, and so everybody has found that. Hare Krishna. Yes. Prasanna Lakshmi. Hare Krishna. Please, somebody can answer. I have told you this. Ankar. Hare Krishna.
Recording in progress.
Ankar just. Hare Krishna. Yes, somebody can. So everybody remember. So now I am asking you one question, or I am giving you some idea. In first chapter, there is a one question called degradation of Kul Dharma. Can somebody answer me what is the process of degradation of Kul Dharma? Yes. Yes, Bhakti Prada. Champakalata, yes.
Yeah, Prabhuji, degradation of the family, first chapter, when Krishna tells Arjuna to fight, then he will tell that, if I fight, the whole people in they die, then what about the future generation who is coming? Might be they will be polluted because the women, there will be no protection to the women.
Okay, that's everybody remember this is called.
I was thinking.
That's all right. That's all. Thank you. So this is the section in first chapter called degradation of Kula Dharma. Similarly, there is a section in a second chapter of Bhagavad Gita that is also called degradation of the soul in one sense. And that section is in Sthita Pragya. And there are two verses. Can somebody remember or recall that?
Dhanavad Pranam Prabhuji, 62.
Yes. Yes, 62. Haribol. Yeah, that is the section, right. Right. So sometimes question you should very clearly understand there is a word degradation in both questions. So one degradation of the family tradition is in chapter 1. The other degradation of soul is in chapter 2. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So now we should start the third chapter. Shall we start third chapter? You have any question? Yes?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. So the link between the second and third chapter generally is verse number 39. What is the, no, sorry, 49. What is the verse 49 in second chapter? Verse 49. Sorry? Right. Duren he avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananja buddhau sharanam anvicha kirpana phala hetava. Right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So this is actually the link between the two chapters. Why this is link between the two chapters? Arjun is confused about avaram karma. Avaram means varam means accepting. Avaram means keeping it away. Throw it away. Avaram karma. What is the verse? Avaram.
Durena Havaram.
Oh, durena avaram karam. Durena means throw it away. Avaram means abominable work. Buddhi yoga dhananjaya here means you fix in knowledge. And so Krishna is now, Arjuna is now confused that fighting is a avaram karma. Is a ghastly karma. I should throw it away. And I should be fixed in buddhi yoga means knowledge. So he misunderstood the two terms. Therefore he is asking question in chapter 3. So the first section of chapter 3 is renunciation or work. And these are the two verses Arjun's question. Now you remember, there is a one question which is for essay, as well as say closed book question. But usually it is essay or open book question. Karma yoga is better than karma sannyas. The one language. The other language is working in Krishna consciousness is better than Jnana Yoga. The third language is same, the meaning is same. And I told you some other words which you should remember always. In this section, the word Nishkama Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga and Bhakti Yoga are interchangeable. What are the three words? Nishkama Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga and devotional service or Bhakti Yoga. And also there are another three terms which are interchangeable or with the same meaning. And they are Sankhya Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Sannyas. So Jnani is called also Sannyasi and he is also called Sankhya Yogi. So actually the question is Nishkama Karma Yoga is better than Jnana Yoga. And you have actually to compare two and prove that Nishkama Karma Yoga is better than Jnana Yoga. Or sannyas. Is it okay? You have to make a list, and I have given you notes. In those notes, actually this list is prepared. That what is the difference between the two? So before I start chapter 3, I am asking you. I gave you, I think, material which contain almost first 6 chapter. Somebody is asking me about give third chapter. What is your response?
Everything has been reserved, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Up to 6th chapter we have reserved.
Yeah, I have given all the material, I think 3 material or 4. Yeah, all commentaries, Gauranga's note, and walking through the verses. And MI's PPT.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, walking through the verses, you have given only 2nd chapter. We are ready to get 3rd chapter onwards. Walking through.
Okay, walking through verses. I don't know, because I told somebody to send all these 6th chapter. So I will, if I find somebody who knows the computer, then I will ask him to send this section. Okay? So now I'm starting 3rd chapter, 1st section, which is renunciation or work. So what it means actually, renunciation means jnana yoga and work means nishkama karma yoga. Arjunavacha jyasati cheta karmanaste buddhmata buddhir janardana tatkam karmani ghore mam jinyojasi keshava. So here, jyasasi means which is better. So jyasasi means which is better. Cheta karmanaste. Karmanaste here means nishkam karma yoga. Mata means opinion. Buddhi means, this is buddhi yoga, or in this manner, he understands buddhi means gyan or renunciation. And Janardhan is the address to Krishna. And there are at least 2 meanings of Janardhan we have discussed sometime. Anybody remember 2 meanings of Janardhan?
Maintainer.
Jana means, sorry?
I think.
Yes.
Dandat Pranam Prabhuji, I think it is maintainer of people.
This is the one meaning. Jana means people, and Ardhan means one who maintain. And the other meaning is, Jana means people, and Ardhan means who destroy. When Arjun says in one attitude, Arjun says, "Oh, I am your Jana. I am like a Birj Jana, or I am your Jana, and why you are asking me to destroy everything? And sometimes because you are protector of everybody, why you are asking me to kill all these people?" So he is using word Janardhan with these 2 meanings in a different context.
Yes,
Tat kim karmane ghore mam, which means durena avaram karma. Niyojasi means engaging me forcefully. Actually, Niyojasi means engaging me. Actually, if you want to see the picture of word Niyojita, it is like a bull which has a rope in the nose. Niyojasi means a rope in the nose of a bull and is forced to work. And the another word is Keshava. Keshav, anybody can tell me the meaning of word Keshav?
Dandat Pranam Prabhuji, killer of Keshi demon.
Okay, that can be, okay.
Ka means Brahma, Isha means Shiva, and Va means, Va means Vayase, under your control.
Yes, you have Shiva. Ka means Brahma, Ish means Shiva, Va means controller. You are controller of Brahma and Shiva, so I have to follow you, even they cannot disobey you. So this is the actually implied meaning of Keshava. Why is using the word Keshava here? He is telling why you are forcing me in this ghastly warfare. I cannot really disobey you because you are controller of Brahma and Shiva. What am I? Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Now Srila Prabhupada's translation. O Janardhan, O Keshav, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare? So these are two addresses, they are put first, and then you want to engage me means Neojasi, and ghastly war means Ghorena Karma. If you think that intelligence means buddhi is better than fruitive work, which means karma, and better word is Neojasi. Can you see all the word of the Sanskrit verse in the translation? This is, I think I have told you sometime this type of exercise in teaching. I told you, remember? You remember? Are you able to put all the words of the Sanskrit word in translation? Then you will intelligently understand actually the import of the verse. Now, which verse is actually discussed more elaborately in purport? Now, Srila Prabhupada start the purport up till second chapter what Krishna has explained. He has explained, number one, the constitutional position of the soul, which is Sankhya Yoga. With a view, why he explained this? To deliver his intimate friend Arjun from ocean of material grief. So he gave him a Atma Gyan, knowledge of the soul, different from the body. What else he has given? And Krishna also gave Arjun the path of realization has been recommended. And what is that? Buddhi Yoga. Path of self-realization is Sthita Pragya. This Sthita Pragya section is path of self-realization, starting from Nishkama Karma Yoga. And then Srila Prabhupada writes, what is the path of self-realization? Buddhi Yoga. Which actually means two meaning, as just we have discussed. In one section it means devotional service, other section it means Nishkama Karma Yoga. So Prabhupada writes, Buddhi Yoga are Krishna consciousness. Now, Srila Prabhupada is coming to the meaning of, say, word Buddhi Yoga, Buddhi in this verse. Sometimes Krishna consciousness means Buddhi Yoga. Is misunderstood to be in Russia, means to be inactive, not doing work. And one with such a misunderstanding often withdraw to secluded place to become fully Krishna conscious by chanting the holy name of Krishna, which means, as Arjuna is thinking, I will give up this fighting and go in a forest and beg. But without being trained in philosophy of Krishna consciousness, which means actually in this section Nishkama Karma Yoga, it is not advisable to chant holy name of Krishna in secluded place, because we are not Haridas that we can control our senses. By practice of devotional service, we purify our senses. Then we can sit in Samadhi and engage in meditation on Krishna or chant holy name. So actually what it means, by practice of Nishkam Karma Yoga, the heart is purified. Then we can engage in a knowledge, which is actually, here it means we can establish in knowledge. And what is at a secluded place where one may acquire only cheap adoration from the innocent public, because he's a Moni Baba, he's chanting holy name whole day. But actually his mind is always still hovering on the sense objects. Arjuna also thought of Krishna consciousness or bhakti yoga or intelligence in spiritual advancement of knowledge. Prabhupada used 3 words: Krishna consciousness or buddhi yoga. Krishna consciousness or buddhi yoga are interchangeable. Or intelligence and spiritual advancement of knowledge means sthita pragya. As something like retirement from active life means renunciation. And practice of penance and austerity at secular place, like a sannyasi. It means jnana yoga. But as a sincere student, this is the qualification of Arjuna. He placed a matter before his master, Krishna, and requested Krishna as to his best course of action, what he should do. In answer, Lord Krishna elaborately explained, Karma Yoga means Nishkama Karma Yoga. By the way, you should know 4 words and their meaning. Karma Kanda, Karma, Sakama Karma Yoga and Nishkama Karma Yoga. This section of Bhagavad Gita is describing Nishkama Karma Yoga. So this is Nishkama Karma Yoga, which is a work in Krishna consciousness. Yoga means actually Krishna consciousness or Bhakti Yoga. The other adjective are the different stages. Nishkam means no desire of the fruit. And karma means work. Yoga means connected to Krishna. The work which is offered to Krishna without desire for result is called Nishkam Karma Yoga. It is very near to Bhakti Yoga. Anybody can tell me what's the difference between the two? Yes?
Dhanvat Pranam Prabhuji. Nishkam Karma Yoga you explained just now. When we work in Krishna consciousness, we do activities, and then they are we don't want any fruitive results, and this is how, and then we are in the spiritual knowledge, and so we are linked with Lord. And Bhakti Yoga is when want to please Krishna's senses. Bhakti Yoga is we just want to please Krishna's senses. That is Bhakti Yoga. Thank you, Prabhuji.
That's also correct, but more specific. Can somebody else try?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, in one of the classes you mentioned that Nishkama Karma Yoga means if I am good in cooking, I'll say that I'll do cooking seva. But Bhakti Yoga means whatever seva you give, it may be, even I may be not good at it, I might not like it. Even cleaning the bathroom, it's for the pleasure of Krishna, I will do it.
That's also right. So technically what we will say, in Nishkama Karma Yoga, we perform the karma as we like, or we are used to, or we are expert at. But we are not attached to the result. We are attached to the karma, but we are not attached to the result. That is called Nishkama Karma Yoga. In Bhakti Yoga, neither we are attached to karma, nor we are attached to fruit of the work. And that Srila Prabhupada used to say, devotional service is military discipline. If we are not attached to any work, whatever we are asked to please Krishna, we will do that. So Nishkama Karma Yoga, the person is attached to the work but not to the result. And the highest Nishkama Karma Yoga in one verse, when Srila Prabhupada was once asked, which is the only one verse that describes Nishkama Karma Yoga in Bhagavad Gita? Anybody can try? Well, that is also a good verse.
Tani sarvani samyamya yukta matpara.
I am saying from whole Bhagavad Gita, don't limit yourself to second chapter.
Sarvadharman parityajya.
That is Bhakti Yoga. That is the highest limit of Bhakti Yoga. I am giving you the hint, it is in chapter 9.
Anyabhilashita shunyam, Prabhuji?
Which one?
Anyabhilashita shunyam.
That is a nectar of devotion.
Oh, is it? Sorry, Prabhuji.
Hello, Pranam Prabhu. Is it Patram Pushpam?
That is more devotional. Before that, Yat karosi, yat asnasi, yat jaosi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi, kontya, tad kurushu amad arpanam. So whatever you do, whatever you give, it means whatever karma you do according to your desire, do it, but offer the result to me. This is actually a highest position of Nishkama Karma Yoga, which is little less than devotional service, but is higher than ordinary Nishkama Karma Yoga. So Nishkama Karma Yoga in one verse is this verse Prabhupada used to quote. And I'm asking you next question. One verse in Bhagavad Gita which describes the Jnana Yoga. Anybody can try? I'm giving you a hint, it is in chapter 7. Yes?
Prabhuji, that one in which Bhumi, Apo, Anala.
Oh, there is actually two type of energies of Krishna.
That is Jnana
These
Yoga,
are
isn't it?
the superior and inferior energies. Yes? That is actually more like devotional sambandh gyan. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyante vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sadur. This is the one verse Prabhupada used to quote from Bhagavad Gita for Jnana Yoga. And one verse for Dhyana Yoga. One verse for Dhyana Yoga from Bhagavad Gita. Yes?
Is it in chapter 6, Prabhu?
Yes, it is in chapter 6.
Yes, Prabhuji, it implies that one, he is the best yogi who sees me in everyone and everyone in me.
There is Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvam Cha Mai Pashyati. I think that's good, but this is not actually the best, the real topmost verse is the last verse of the 6th chapter. Yogi Nam Abhi Sarvesham Madgate Antaratma. Right.
Yatena antaratmana Yoginam.
Samay yuktatmo mata. This is the one verse for Dhyan Yoga. And one verse for Bhakti Yoga is Man Mana Bhav Mad Bhakto. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
now we are reading the second verse. Vyame srena vakena buddhim mohyasi me tadekam vada nischaya yena sryo aham apunyam. Vyame srena vakena means the words with double meaning are confusing words. Vakyana means words are your, whatever you are talking in your language, it has double meaning. Buddhi moyasami means my intelligence is confused. Tad ekam vad nischaya. Now you tell me decisively. Nischaya means with decision. Vad means say. Ekam means only one thing. Yena shriyo, that is the best. Aham apunyam, for me. So it should not be priya for me, but it should be shriya for me. Priya means what I like, shriya means what scripture describe. So there is a one full section sometime difference between priya and shriya. Bhagavad Gita is speaking about shriya, not about priya. When Arjuna is surrendering to Krishna in 7th verse, he is using the word Yat Sriyo Sunishchitam Bravitan Me. What is best for me according to scripture and you. It means what is good for us according to the scripture and the instruction of a spiritual master. That is Shriya. So this is the translation. Arjuna is saying, my intelligence is bewildered. Buddhiv mohisu me. By your equivocal word. What is the word equivocal in Sanskrit? Vyame shrena.
Yomishrena.
There is a one, you have heard the Nema Sharanya?
Yes, Prabhuji. Nami Sharanya.
And there is a one Chakar Tirath. You know Chakar Tirath? There is a one reservoir of water, a pond which is called Chakar Tirath. And 1 kilometer from there is another place called Mishrit Tirath. Mishrat means mixed. So there is also a pond there where all the holy places are invited by Indra to take bath after taking bones from Dadhichi Rishi for making his Vajr, a thunderbolt weapon. So the word for that pond of water cup reservoir is Mishrit Kund. Mishrit means mixed. So Vyame Shrena means the words which have many meanings. Therefore, please tell me decisively means Nishchitam. With which the most beneficial for me, most beneficial means Shriya. Is it okay? So Srila Prabhupada's purport is many different paths are explained in 2nd chapter. Sankhya Yoga is explained, Buddhi Yoga is explained, control of senses by intelligence. Where is this in 2nd chapter? Sthit Pragya. How he sit. Can you see this? Control of senses by intelligence. Work without fruitive desire, Nishkam Karma Yoga. Karman e adhikaraste, from here this section also. And the position of a neophyte. What is the position of neophyte? Means one who can degrade himself. These 4 things when Prabhupada is writing, how can you put this as a prelude to the Bhagavad Gita? Prelude to the Bhagavad Gita means 2nd chapter. Many different paths are explained, such as Sankhya Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, control of senses by intelligence, work without fruitive desire, and the position of neophyte. Can you put all these in a second chapter, as I said right now? So somebody will ask, why Prabhupada has written control of senses by intelligence? Where is that? How is Sthit Pragya sit?
54, 2.54, Sthit Pragya.
Sit. How is Sthit Pragya sit? Which means like a tortoise. This section, right?
Text 58, Prabhu.
Yes, 58.
58, Prabhu.
8, 9, 10. I think there are 4 or 5 verses about this. Not one verse. There are 4 or 5 verses. And then work without fruitive result, that is Nishkama Karma Yoga. From the Karmana Adhikaras till verse number 54. And then position of neophyte means how he is degraded. Dhyayato Vinsha Punshan Vishyas. This is, I understand why Prabhupada has written this here. Word position of neophyte means he can degrade. This was all present unsystematically in second chapter. Sankhya Yoga is first, then Buddhi Yoga, then sense control, then fruitive work, then neophyte. Actually, what should be systematic? It should be first neophyte, then fruitive activity, then controlling senses, then it should be Sankhya Yoga, then Buddhi Yoga. This should be systematic like this. A more organized outline of path would be necessary for action and understanding. For action and understanding. So action here means actually Nishkama Karma Yoga, and understanding here means knowledge. For action means Nishkama Karma Yoga, and understanding means Buddhi or intelligence. Arjun therefore want to clear up these apparently confusing matters so that any common man could accept them without misinterpretation. Although Krishna had no intention of confusing Arjun by any jugglery of words, Arjun could not follow the process of Krishna consciousness, either by inertia, which means Jnana Yoga, or by active service, which means Nishkama Karma Yoga or Krishna consciousness. In other words, by his question, he is clearing the path of Krishna consciousness for all students who seriously wants to understand the mystery of Bhagavad Gita, which means working in Krishna consciousness is better than renunciation. This is the mystery of Bhagavad Gita. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Now we are going to the second section. Verse 3 to 9 is Nishkama Karma Yoga, which also means Nishkama Karma Yoga is better than Jnana Yoga. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Loke asmin divividha nishta prokta maya naga Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. Loke asmin means in this world. Dvividha nishta is not vidhi, is vidha. Nishta. Two type of qualification. This is the two type of qualification. Dvividha nishta. Pura means in olden time, prokta means said, maya anag means O sinless Arjun. It means when you are asking this question, you are not duplicitous. You have no motive. You are very straightforward and sinless person. And what are these two qualifications? Who is qualified for what? There is a Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Nam, which means those who are qualified for Jnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga are Karma Yoga Yogi Nam. Those who are qualified for Nishkama Karma Yoga are working in Krishna consciousness. So let us read Srila Prabhupada's purport as it is. I think we were in the beginning 34, now we are 29. Has somebody left in between? So Srila Prabhupada, right? The Supreme Personality of God has said, O sinless Arjun, Ananga. What is the word there? O sinless Arjun is a address to Arjun. Because you are having a doubt, it is not because of your duplicitous nature or sinful disposition. You are Ananga. Aga means sin, A means no. I have already explained that there are two classes of men, means two classes of men qualified for or adhikari. It's not two processes. It's not vidhi, it is vidha. Vidhi means process. Vidha means qualification or adhikar. Who try to realize the self. Here Nishtha means those who have a fixed desire to realize the self, which means soul. Some are inclined to understand it by empirical philosophical speculation, which means Jnana Yogena Sankhya Nam. Empirical means Sankhya. Philosophical speculation means Jnana. And other by devotional service, which means Karma Yoga Yogi Nam. So Srila Prabhupada has put the verse Karma Yoga as a bhakti rather than Nishkam Karma Yoga. So now here, Srila Prabhupada says in second chapter verse 39, which is a link between the chapter 2 and chapter 3. The Lord explained two kinds of procedures, namely Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga, or Buddhi Yoga. In this verse, Lord explained the same more clearly, which means now it is systematic. Sankhya Yoga, or analytical study of the nature of the spirit and matter, is a subject matter for persons who are inclined to speculate and understand things by experimental knowledge and philosophy. So this is the explanation of the word Sankhya and Jnana Yoga in the verse. This is one type of people. Their inclination or adhikar, or eligibility. The other class of men work in Krishna consciousness, means Nishkama Karma Yoga, as explained in the 61 verse of second chapter. So what is 61 verse? Please, somebody should read 61 verse.
Tani sarvani samyamya yukta ashida matpara vashehi yasya indriyani tasya prajna pratishtita.
Actually, the word matpara is the word which denotes to devotional service. Matpara means surrendering unto me or depending on me. In all your work, depend on me. That means this is Krishna consciousness. Me, Krishna is speaking, putting his finger on his chest, depend on me. Therefore it is devotional service or Krishna consciousness. Okay? Mat para is the most important word. Now the Lord has explained also in 39 verse that by knowledge, by working, by principles of Buddhi Yoga or Krishna consciousness, one can be relieved from bonds of action, and furthermore, there is no flaw in the process. This 39 verse is same. The same principle is more clearly explained in verse number 61. That this Buddhi Yoga is to depend entirely on Supreme. That is the Mat Para. Depend entirely on Supreme, no, or more specifically on Krishna, Mat Para. Mat means Krishna, me. Para means depend. That this Buddhi Yoga is to depend entirely on Supreme Lord Krishna, and in this way, all the senses can be brought under control very easily. Because all the senses will be engaged in service of Krishna, and he controls the senses. Like he controlled the reins of the horses of Arjun in Kurukshetra. So he will control the senses of the devotee when he is completely dependent upon Krishna. Therefore, both yoga are interdependent. These lines you underline. I don't know how to really color these lines. Devotees know actually to highlight this section. I don't know how to they highlight this section. Anybody can highlight this section? These most important lines that are asked in questions in your exam. Therefore, both yoga means Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga, or Gyan Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, or Nishkam Karma Yoga are interdependent as religion and philosophy. Religion without philosophy is sentiment and sometimes fanatism. Here, religion without philosophy. And philosophy without religion is mental speculation. Now, if I am asking you, you put the two yoga and compare which means religion and which means philosophy and how they are interdependent.
Jnana Yoga is philosophy and Bhakti Yoga is religion. Only if we have Jnana, we can do Bhakti.
Yeah, you put rightly. Religion actually means Nishkama Karma Yoga or Bhakti, and philosophy means knowledge, Gyan Yoga. So they are interdependent. How they are interdependent? First you have to do the Nishkama Karma Yoga, then you are qualified to do the Jnana Yoga or philosophy. So if you are not doing religion, only doing Jnana, then you are fanatic. You are fanatic. And if you are only doing Jnana Yoga without Nishkam Karma Yoga, then, or you are only doing devotional service without knowledge, then it is simple. What is that? While philosophy without religion is mental speculation. ultimate goal is Krishna. Now, this line is most important. For both the ultimate goal is Krishna. This in 5th chapter example is given. Those who are following Sankhya Yoga, they want to find out the root of a tree. And those who follow the Krishna consciousness or Nishkama Karma Yoga, they are watering the root. So both have reached to the root. Therefore, ultimate goal is Krishna, which is the root. Sarva Karana Karanam. Because the philosopher also, who are also sincerely searching after the absolute truth, come in the end to Krishna consciousness, means the root of the tree. This is also stated in Bhagavad Gita. Why Prabhupada has written, this is also stated in Bhagavad Gita. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyante vasudev. This is actually the verse Prabhupada is having in mind when he's writing this. This is also stated in Bhagavad Gita. The whole process to understand the real position of the self in relation to the super self. The indirect process is philosophical speculation, means Jnana Yoga, by which gradually one may come to the point of Krishna consciousness, and other process is direct connecting everything with Krishna and Krishna consciousness. That is Bhakti Yoga. Of the two, the path of Krishna consciousness is better. Why? Because it does not depend on purifying the senses by a philosophical process. Why? Because Krishna consciousness is itself purifying process. You don't need some other process. And by direct method of devotional service, it is simultaneously easy and sublime. Next reason. Why work is better? Because it is not depending on some other process for purification. Number two, it is easy and sublime. One is indirect and other is direct. Now we are going to Krishna's answer. Na karmana mana arambha neshkarmya purshno ashnuti na cha sanyasad eva siddhim samadhigacchati. So this is the translation. Not by merely abstaining from work, sannyas, can one achieve freedom from reaction. Nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection. If you don't do work, you think I'm not doing anything, then I will have no reaction for the work. Still you have to eat. You have to breathe. So you also incur some work. Nor by renunciation alone, if you become jnani, can get perfection, not possible. So both are necessary because they are interdependent. Srila Prabhupada writing here, the renounced order of life, which means actually sannyas, which is mostly for the jnanis, can be accepted when one has been purified by discharge of prescribed form of duties, actually which means varna ashram dharma, which are laid down just to purify the heart of materialistic man. So prescribed duties of means varna ashram dharma. Without purification means without practicing our prescribed duties, one cannot attain success by abruptly adopting the fourth order of life, sannyas. According to empiric philosopher means jnanis, simply by adopting sannyas or retiring from fruitive activities, one at once become as good as Narayan. This is a concept of the Mayavad sannyasis, that everybody is Narayan. But Lord Krishna does not approve this principle. Without purification of heart, which means Nishkama Karma Yoga, sannyas means gyan, is simply a disturbance to the social order, means varnashram system. On the other hand, if someone takes to the transcendental service of the Lord, means devotional service, even without discharging his prescribed duties, means varnashram dharma, whatever he may be able to advance in the cause is accepted by Lord Buddhi Yoga. Swalpamasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. This is pure devotional service. Even a slight performance of such principle enable one to overcome great difficulties. So again here Nishkam Karma Yoga is better than Gyan, and there are reasons given. And what are the reasons? You extract from this purport at least some points. Is it okay? We are going to the next verse. Please extract some difference between Nishkam Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Why Nishkam Karma Yoga is better than Jnana Yoga from this section. Next verse. Na kaschit nahi kaschit kshanam api jatu tishtatya akarma kirta karyate hi avashya karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. Nahi kaschit kshanam api, for a moment. Jatu tishtata akarma. One cannot be inactive. Akarma means not doing action. Why? Karya hi avasa karam. Helplessly he has to work. Avasa means helplessly. Who is forcing him to do work? Sarva prakriti jair gunai. The modes of material nature which are actually working on the subtle body and forming our habits or subhav, they will force us to work. Srila Prabhupada's translation. What I just said, you know this, what I just said, anybody can paraphrase? The statement just I gave, anybody can paraphrase? Yes? Haribol? Prabhu, Haribol?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah. Anybody want to paraphrase what Prabhu said just now?
I gave a very, very fine statement for understanding. What I said is this. We all have our own nature or subhav. Our nature or subhav is made by three modes of material nature. And these three modes of material nature, they have their influence on our subtle body, which is made up of mind, intelligence, false ego, and polluted consciousness, mana, buddhi, ahankar, and chitta. And since our subtle body goes from one body to other body along with soul, So our nature is inherent from many births, and that nature will force us to work. Is it okay? Everyone is forced to act helplessly. Avasa, forced to work. According to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. Here qualities means his nature. Subhav. Therefore no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. Kshanam api. Please mute. Okay. Is this okay? All right. It is not a question of embodied life. Embodied life means soul within material body. It's not a question of embodied life, but it is the nature of the soul to be always active. This is the most forceful, strong evidence that working is necessary, because soul by nature is active. It can never be active. This one line of the purport is most important, singular, powerful point, that work is better than knowledge or inaction, because soul by nature is active. Without the presence of spirit soul, the material body cannot move. The body is only a dead vehicle to be worked by the spirit soul, which is always active and cannot stop even for a moment. As such, the spirit soul has to be engaged in good work of Krishna consciousness. It means work is better than renunciation. Otherwise, it will be engaged in occupation dictated by illusory energy, means Maya. In contact with material nature, the spirit soul acquires material modes. And to purify the soul from such affinities, it is necessary to engage in the prescribed duties enjoined in the Shastra, which means Varna Ashram Dharma. But if the soul is engaged into his natural function of Krishna consciousness, whatever he is able to do is good for him. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. You may give up Varna Ashram if you are practicing Krishna consciousness. There is no loss. But if you practice Varna Ashram nicely without Krishna consciousness, there is no gain. So this is Narada is speaking this verse. Tyaktva swadharamam charanarambujam hare bhajanam avapako athapateta yato. If you are not successful, apakva means not mature. Athapateta tato yadi, if you fall down. Yatra kwa va abhadram abhudra amushya. There's no inauspiciousness, don't worry. Ko va artha apato bhajatam swadharma. But what is the benefit of only practicing Varnashram without bhakti? Even you are fully successful, still there is no advantage. So somebody can read the translation of this verse given by Prabhupada right here on the screen.
Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something.
No. If someone, you have to read from here. If someone takes to Krishna consciousness.
If someone takes to Krishna consciousness, even though he may not follow the prescribed duties in the Shastras or execute the devotional service properly, and even though he may fall down from the standard, there is no loss or evil for him. But if he carries out all the injuries for purification in the Shastras, what does it avail him if he is not Krishna conscious? So the purificatory process is necessary for reaching this point of Krishna consciousness. Therefore, sannyasa or any purificatory process is to help reach the ultimate goal of becoming Krishna conscious, without which everything is considered a failure.
So Srila Prabhupada has quoted this verse from Bhagavatam to tell us that Varnashram Dharam, if not aimed on at Krishna consciousness, is not very fruitful.